Probably doing nothing but thinking about it.
You are so right. You guys are so right. What do you guys want to do today? Any great ideas coming out of you?
Loosen up my buttocks.
Your buttocks. All right then. Loosen up that buttocks.
Low
If
back.
you ever, I'll just show it. We won't do it because I know all of you don't have the you know, the balls and the rollers. If you guys ever use these balls, like roll on them, that can be very interesting. You have? Are you laughing or are you saying yes?
Yes. Well, I'm laughing because yes, I have them, but I haven't used them lately.
All right, well, let me just show you quickly.
I have this kind of a roller.
Let me see. Where are you? Yes, that is that half or whole?
This is a whole, this is a
Oh,
trigger
well,
point.
you can't use that. Let me just show you quickly before we get going. You can use a tennis ball if you're using the ball. I was just doing this with a student Tuesday. So you can do little things like this and kind of roll around and find pressure points.
Mhm.
And then you can cross over if you feel like it. I want to say one caution. Do not push it on your sitting bone. Don't push it right at that pointy part. Because that's where your hamstring is attached. So you can do it anywhere you want except there. And sometimes people try to get into the side. This is the tough area right here. So you can kind of go back and forth and have like, you know, you can either find a pressure point and stay there for a little bit while you breathe, or you can roll it around. So just make sure, you know, it's not too painful, but it's very helpful. You know how I always say, do it on the bottom of your feet. Now with the roller, you can get in there too. So I'll show that quickly. And there's different ways. So it's pretty similar. We're gonna just roll, you lean to one side and roll around and kind of feel it. You could go to the lower back area and switch side. You can do the number 4 while you're doing it, which puts a little bit more weight on it. What you want to do though is make sure if you're doing this, it is weight bearing on the upper body. So you want to make sure that your shoulder is in alignment and externally rotated so you don't hurt your shoulder. Any questions on that? That's called a mini tutorial on what you can do with a roller or a little tennis ball or neuro ball.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we forget to use all these things we've got around, right? So yeah, the hips get tight. We know that. All right. We'll emphasize the hips today. All right, coming to our breath. So soften into your seat. Try to take the snowstorm and tuck it into a basket away, or I should say into a shovel away to the corner. And you can use the snow as a metaphor for the thoughts in your mind and in our minds. So a lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate or I can't sit and breathe. But perhaps if you think about, it's not the idea that the thoughts are going to go away, but that they're going to trickle down. Now this is going to be a heavy snowstorm, so we can think of it like we got a lot of thoughts in there. It might take a while for it to slow down and dissipate. But same idea as you breathe in and out, focusing on the breath, not trying to change it in any way, breathing in and out through the nose with a nice deep belly diaphragmatic breath. Let's start rocking. So perhaps when you have a moment of quietude while the snow is falling, because it's such a nice, it's kind of a warm, cozy feeling when it happens, as long as you're inside and warm, maybe by the fireplace with some hot tea or hot cacao. Ooh, good. Or golden milk. I don't know if you guys have ever had golden milk, but I'm happy to tell you about it because it's one of my favorite. And circle the other way. And that's where you use some milk. It could be almond milk. It could be your favorite milk. It could be coconut milk. It could be, in the Ayurvedic tradition, it is whole milk. But you don't have to do that. Use whatever you like. And let's rise back to center here and circle the shoulders. And there's some turmeric in it. And you can put some cacao in it and cinnamon. And you can vary this up a little vanilla. And I like to top it with some maple syrup. And then use one of those frothers and get it all frothy on top. So that's a really nice thing to do before bed, or just as a nice little cozy treat, maybe mid-afternoon. Relax the arms down by your side. And let's lean forward and back and start to sway the arms forward and swing them back. Ooh, this chair is creaking today. Swinging forward and swinging back. And then let's go side to side. So arms lift and we're going to sway them towards the right and then sway them towards the left. And you can transfer your weight in your feet and in your hips. So as you lean to the left, it's going towards the left foot and the left hip. And as we go to the right, it's going to the right foot and the right hip. But you can look up different recipes for golden milk. Just, you can YouTube it or just Google it. You'll find so many, or I'll be happy to send it to you if you email me. And let's bring our hands in front of our hearts. Drop the elbows. Pull the ribs back. Feel the belly tone. And inhale, arms lift up. Let's make a circle towards the right and down and left and around, as though we're tracing a big snowball. Anybody might have grandkids going out and building a snowman? I hope that the snow has a nice quality to it for that. And let's reverse it. Circle the other way and down and around, and just feel very gently what kind of stretch this movement creates in your back. Move back to center. Open up your palms. Catch a snowflake or two in your palms. And then curl your fingers in towards your palms and open it up. And curl them on in, the thumbs out. Then let's take our thumbs and interlock them, pull them apart. You can have your fingers lift like so. And let's twist towards the right. So we're feeling this twist in the, about the navel up, head turns left. Inhale to center, pulling the thumbs apart, elbows out to the side. Just gliding one more time. Breathe in, breathe out, and return to center. Let's lift the right knee. This is always a good place to start. Lift the leg up and then circle the leg around. Now you can use one hand or both hands. You can use a strap underneath your leg as we circle around and about. So we're going to start to open up this hip. And then place the foot next to your left ankle and push down through the ball of the foot and the knees going out to the side a little bit. Feel that pressure down through the big toe mound and across. Heel and ankle rising. And now take your hands to the seat of the chair and move your toes so you're pointing them straight down and then back a little bit. Now you don't have to go far back, and just kind of tap the top of the toes down. So it's making a little tapping, and it's kind of a point, right? So if you don't want to put your foot down back there, you could just point the foot. And just let that go and lift the leg back up and drop it down. Let's do the other side. Lifting left knee. Now feel both sitting bones on the chair and circle it around and about. So lifting it high, out to the side, down and around, as though you're stirring a pot of warm soup. I know a few of you are in Florida or south or west, so you can't quite relate to what we're talking about in our chilly bones in the north. And then place the leg down, toes down, and then the heels just gently pressing into the ankle, knees out to the side. Lift tall. And feel the sensation of the big toe mound pressing down and across. Notice how that feels for you. Breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to hold on to the side of the chair. Take the top of the foot and just tap it back. Just a little bit of tapping action. Got to move those toes and the feet around. It all affects, even though we're going to focus on the hips a bit today. And then release it and step it on down. Take your feet about mat width apart, or maybe even wider, and let your right knee drop into center like so. And then bring it to center and drop the left in. And do this a few times. Now, if you feel any knee pain, then stop. We don't want that. And let it go to center. And now, as you drop the right knee in, lifting the left arm high. So feel the stretch from your arm going down the side of your body. Yes, 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 yes. And then pull it down and bring the knee back to neutral, and inhale and lift it up and pull it down. Take the arm wide back behind you, maybe gazing back there, and then swing and circle the arm across your body. Use your left hand to pull it in. Relax the shoulder down if it lifts up like that. Just let it lower on down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Open it back up and place it down. Now allow the left knee to drop into center and feel that. Let's lift the left arm high, reach up skyward, spread your fingers, and then pull the elbow down. Place the foot back into neutral. Inhale, arm rises up. Take it out to the side and back behind you, as though you're serving your golden milk. And then circle the arm forward in front of your body. Relax that shoulder. See how it lifts sometimes as you circle it? So we just lower it down. Say relax shoulder. Inhale it up, out to the side. And place your hands on your thighs. Lift tall. Pull the ribs back. Lift tall. Feel the sensation of your feet pressing down into the mat or the earth. So this starts to open up our inner thighs. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Now, this is part of the hip, by the way. As we open up our legs, we are helping the hips to open. Circle the elbow around and about. And take care of that bottom shoulder by pressing down through the forearm and drawing the shoulder back. And then let's reach the arm over the ear. Elbow can be bent or straight. Reach, 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 reach. And then we're gonna rise up to cactus or goalpost arms, tilt the elbows forward, relax the top of the hands back. And then tilt the fingertips down and lift them up, elbows tip forward, feel your shoulder blades on your back, fingertips move to just behind your head, and tilt the elbow down, maybe gaze up towards the upper elbow, inhale, rise up, tilt the other way. Tilt towards the left, pull the ribs back, press down through your feet, inhale, rise up, and left forearm to thigh, shoulder back. So find that placement. Generally, the palm up is going to help. If the palm is down, see, I don't know if you can see, but the shoulder went forward. So the whole arm is opening and externally rotating. Circle the elbow. Follow your arm as you move. And then let's find this more of an intense side bend. Notice that the ribs are jutting forward. Pull them back and then reach once again. Now take your mind's eye to the opposite foot, which is the right foot. Push it down. Push down through the left. Are you ready? Root to rise. Lift on up. Cactus arms. You got it. And come back to center. So part of hip opening is we're going to cross the legs. You're going to feel it a little bit differently. We usually do number 4, and we're going to do number 4. We're also going to do variations of eagle pose, which is awesome for the hips as well. So first variation is ankles crossing over, hugging legs together. This is the first version of the legs. Or take your left leg and place it over the right, and then hug the legs together. Now, some of you may be able to place the foot behind the calf. This is not because we're more enlightened. It's just the proportion of our bones in our body. So we're hugging legs towards each other. Now we're going to take the left arm under the right. Or, so you can cross like that, or lift forearms, or maybe touch fingertips to opposite palm. Then we're going to press the elbows away. Now, if this crossing doesn't work for you, just bring the forearms towards each other, lift elbows up. There's always an adaptation, right? So we're going to now pull the elbows down towards our navel as we hug our legs towards each other. Then inhale, open your arms up and kick your leg forward. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, left arm rises. Let's twist towards the right. So you're going to take your left hand and push it into your thigh, but your thigh's pushing into your hands. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, come to center. Hands at your hips. Elbows move in towards each other without squeezing too hard, because if you squeeze too hard, then the whole rib cage is going to come forward. Pull the ribs back. Gently pull the insides of your elbows towards each other. Lean forward. Feel your shoulder blades on the back. Press down through the left heel and the right foot. Keep a nice long spine. Now, as we stay here for a few breaths, you might notice that your spine goes a little bit further down, but trying to keep this alignment, shoulder blades on back, head in line with spine. We're gonna press down through the heel and the foot and rise up and drag it on in. Now, opposite side. So ankle crosses ankle, legs pull in towards each other. Or take the right thigh and put it over the left. You're pulling your knees towards each other. That doesn't mean they're stacking, by the way. You're pulling them. Like it might look like this. It might look like this, and it might look like this. Then the lower leg, you can draw it towards the other calf. Sit tall. Breathe in. Breathe out and bring elbows together, or left arm under right, lifting elbows, pulling them away from you. You're going to feel a stretch behind your shoulder blades in between them. And then exhale, bring the elbows down towards your navel. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. And breath is out. Inhale, rise up. Kick it open. Kick that leg open. That's it. Exhale, lower it down. Hands to your hips. We're tall. Let's lean forward slowly. You might scoochie a little bit more forward in your chair. Feel the sensation of pressing the foot and the heel down. Keep the neck long. So don't let it drop down here towards your knees. Lift it up and then lengthen like a beam going through your spine, out through your crown. Breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. Inhale, rise on up and bring the foot back in. Now we'll do number 4 because this is one of the best hip openers. So you can either put your foot on a block or a few blocks. Let me use this bigger block so you can see today. I don't expect you to have a bigger block, but you could stack a few or some books, whatever you've got near you, or maybe a chair. So the foot's either going to be on the block and the knees going out to the side like this, or if it's available, you can bring the ankle over the thigh. We start by sitting tall. So this is very similar to the forward fold we just did. And let's lean forward. Lean forward, keeping spine in line, head in line with neck, spine, crown of the head reaching forward. Take a pause and notice if you're starting to feel a stretch in the outer or inner thigh. If you're not, you can go a little bit forward, but make sure you're tacking your hips down. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. Let's take a few more breaths. Now they say, right, we talked about this before, 30 seconds for a stretch at least. You can, what we call lather, rinse, repeat, by come out of it and enter it back in. In fact, it's nice to take a pause and go in again, and we're going to do that. So now push down through the foot and rise up. Good. And now we're going to go in one more time. This time, maybe you do the yoga handshake. So you could put 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers in between your toes. Maybe you circle the ankle around a little bit. And then we will lean forward. Lean forward. Notice if it's the same stretch or maybe it's just a little bit more. Now, for those of you who are not feeling this, you can take your elbows toward, or your hands to your shins and press your elbows and your upper arms into your shins and push your shin into your elbows. That can change it up a little bit. I'm sure there's not too many out there like that, but some of us are a little bit more flexible than others. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's inhale, rise up, kick the leg forward and place it down. And before we do the other side, just notice. Now, I encourage you, when you're sitting a lot, do that pose, because that's gonna just, I don't know if you could do it too much. I mean, obviously, if you feel pain, you don't want to do it. So choose your variation, foot on the block or ankle on the knee. And then we're gonna lean on forward, but we get tall first. Don't let those ribs come forward. That's gonna affect it. Yesterday, in an in-person class, it was very clear that someone did not feel the pose because their ribs weren't back. And the minute they bring their ribs back and they're more in alignment with their spine, it's all connected. They felt it more. So we lean forward, feel sensation. Now you can gently press on your thigh downward. I would not press hard on the knee. That is a fragile joint. We must send it love. So breathe in, breathe out. For most of us, it's about 4 or 5 breaths for 30 seconds. If we figure it's 4 counts in and 4 counts out, and we do 4 breaths, that would be about 32. And then we're going to press down and rise up and maybe lather, rinse, repeat. Maybe you do the yoga handshake on the opposite side. You might have to play around to get your fingers in between your toes, but it's worth it. It's kind of like those toe spreaders. And I can feel some tightness. It must be from the winter and circulation is less, and we just feel a little bit more rigid this time of year. So we're gonna lean forward one more time. Breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe on out. Head is long. And then we're going to press down. When you're ready, rise up, release the leg, and we are ready to go down to the earth to do more hip openers. So here we go. Go down nice and safely. Bring your blankets, your straps, your blocks with you. And place your chair so you can get down safely, perhaps against a wall. Use a cushion for your knees. And come on down. Come on down. Take your time. No rush when we're moving around, coming on down, right? I'm going to move this out of the way so you don't have that blocking your view. And we're going to start on hands and knees. And here we are. So we're going to do hip circles once again on hands and knees, because that is going to help our weight bearing. And we're going to change it into doggy fire hydrant. You guys know that, like when a dog pees on the fire hydrant. So here we go with that. We want to strengthen our hips just as much as we want to loosen them up. So we're spreading our fingers, our palms are pressing down. Lift the knee into your belly when you're ready, and then extend it back and straighten the leg. We'll do that a few times. Bring it in, extend it back. Bring it in. Now let's go to doggy fire hydrant. Knee out to the side, circled around and about. So knee into you, or towards your chest, towards your heart, towards your belly. Take it out to the side, doggy fire hydrant. Drop the knee, let the footprint rise on up. Pull it in once again. Knee to chest. Knee out to the side, doggy fire hydrant. You can flex your foot. Press the footprint up towards the sky. And extend the leg. Let's place it down and bring the knee back in. Circle the hips around and about. When we do these poses, often The standing hip, I'm just turning this way, often the standing hip feels like it's got some pressure, and it does because that's weight bearing. If it ever feels like it's too much, come on out of it, take a break. You can always begin again. So let's extend now the left leg and then pull the knee in, extend it back. So as we pull the knee in, we're going to like the cat spine. We're pushing down through the palms. The knee is pulling in towards our chest and extend it back. Now let's pull the knee in, take it out to doggy fire hydrant, and then footprint up towards the sky, and knee comes back to your heart. So you're making a circle. So the circle's out to the side, back behind us, we pull it back in. Out to the side, footprint up, knee back in towards chest, and then you can always make it a little bit smoother as you circle it around. And that's a lot of fun, isn't it? And we'll come back to center. Let the hips sway one way and then the other. And then the other. I'm going to show you something. If this doesn't look appealing, skip it. We are going to go towards our belly. So if you don't like it, don't do it. You always have that choice, don't you? So we can bring the knee forward and lengthen the back leg. That's going to bring a little stretch into the front of the thigh. You can come up on your fingertips or put your hands on two blocks on your side. Then we might even lower down. Now, if it's available to you, you can bring the front of the shin a little bit outward so you're making an angle. But don't worry, no worries if that doesn't happen, because we're going to get in other ways. Let your hips sway a little bit, side to side, right and left. And then let's pick that knee up and place it back underneath our hip. Circle the hips around again. And do the other side. Extend the leg back. And then reach it forward. So place it forward. And the back leg is long. Come up on your fingertips or use blocks to prop you. What I'm feeling right now is a stretch across the front of the thigh. If it's too much, lean down a little bit like this. You can always come down onto your forearms. So this is a nice way to stretch the front of the thigh. And then for some of you who you feel like you're a little more open, you can walk your left shin a little more forward, and that's into a variation of what we call pigeon. But that, if it sounds like it's too much, don't worry, because we're coming out of this and we're going to go onto our back and do a variation there. So here we come, rise back up, take the knee back, let the hips sway to your right and sway to your left. And let's find a version of child pose. Child pose is a hip opener, by the way, especially when the knees go a little bit wider than our hips. So I'm doing the frontal view. If you have lower back pain, then you're probably going to want knees towards each other to support your spine and your belly. Traditional child pose, the knees go a little bit further apart, toes together, hips move back, and then you can rest your head on your forearms if your neck is okay, and your neck. If your shoulders are okay, then you can walk your hands a little bit more forward. So notice how the knees are wide. You can adjust how wide your knees are. If you cramp in your foot, then come out of it, stamp your foot down like you mean it, and then you can come back into it when you're ready after the cramp is dissipated. So we breathe with it, we let it go away, cramp. When it goes away, after we just follow our breath while it's exiting, and then we can go back in and find this child pose. You can also put a block under your forehead. I like it, some people don't, because they feel like they can't breathe, but I only have the block under my forehead. It's not at the nose, so it's just right here. And then we'll come out of child pose and onto our backs. And you might have a little blanket under your head, but try to keep the head level, so the ears are going to be level with the shoulders. Try not to bunch the blanket up too much. We want the neck to have a curve in it. And if the head is coming up too much, where the blanket's just kind of crunched like that, that can be too much pressure for certain poses, and it kind of takes us out of alignment. Now, we're going to bring the knee in towards us and place the ankle over the thigh. And feel that. Then take your right hand and press the thigh away. So this is a variation. We already kind of did this, but we're going to do it again, because lather, rinse, repeat. And then we pull the knee in until we feel sensation. Once you feel sensation, give it a break. And breathe for about 30 seconds. You're pulling it in gently over time, feeling sensation. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And release the leg, and we are going to do a leg stretch. So use your strap or your cane or your hands, keeping the knee over the hip, straightening the leg to your range of motion, not anybody else's. We're pushing the heel up, toes towards you. Breathe right here. You might bend and straighten a few times too, to kind of warm up the back of your leg. Now, you can push the thigh away from you, and maybe you have a hand behind your thigh. You will feel some contraction, especially in the back of the thigh as you press it away, which is very nice for a stretch, to contract it and lengthen it at the same time. Then we're going to take the leg out to the side. Pushing the heel away, keeping the left hip down. Breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out for about 30 seconds. Support your leg. You can always place a block under your leg, well, if it goes that low, but I've got it on the highest level like that. Or use your hand under your leg. Then we're going to lift the leg up, cross it over the midline, and imagine somebody's gently pressing on the bottom of your foot. Now we're going to feel this more along the IT band and maybe at the hip. Now you can play here. I'm going to show you this view, because you can let the leg cross over in about this degree, or you can let it come over even more, and the sensation changes. So you get to be your own gurus and determine what's best for you. So this is a little bit of a twist. Now for some of you, you might take your hand on your thigh in the hip crease and push the skin away. And as you do that, as you push the fascia away, you'll notice the sensation intensifies. So if you don't want intensification, don't do it. Is intensification a word? I'm not sure. Bring the leg back up and release it, and notice how it feels. Notice how it feels to release it. And then we're gonna pull the same knee back in for half happy baby. Pull that knee in. Pull it in. So we got half happy baby going here. And the knee is moving towards your shoulder. And then come into full happy baby. So both feet up. This is a hip opener. Roll right and left, massage your spine. If the knees are in, not so much of a hip opener. As the knees move outwards, you'll feel it a little bit more. We'll come back to neutral, and we are going to stretch the leg to the opposite side. So here we go. I'm using the cane today. So for putting the strap around your foot or hand behind your thigh, gently finding the extent of lengthening through the leg that's right for your left leg at this moment. You can play with pointing and flexing. Pressing thigh away from you, you're going to feel the activation behind the leg. So you're pushing up and pressing away. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. When you're ready, take the leg out to the side. Support your leg with a block or your hand. And I'm noticing more sensation on the inner thigh today on the left side. We're pushing the heel away from us, toes towards us. Now you can notice, if you relax the foot, notice how the stretch changes. For me, it reduces. Notice what it does for you. We'll lift the leg up. And now we're going to do that cross body over the midline. So here's the demo of that. Foot crosses over the midline, and just notice perhaps right here, you can use your hand to push the fascia away, and then maybe it drops to the side. You get to decide. This side, I'm not feeling as much when it goes down lower, so I'm going to bring it back up a bit. Notice what you feel. See, now right here, you might feel it on the outside of the hip or a little bit underneath the thigh. It's going to go to the point where it's tightest first. You want to remain for about 30 seconds, but if it's too intense, come out of it, because you can always begin again. Then we're going to release that and let it go. And let's do number 4. I'm sorry, first half happy baby on this side. So pulling the knee in towards you, towards your shoulder. You can use both hands, one hand on your foot, one hand on your shin, or both hands on your calf as you pull it in. And I don't think we did number 4 on the left side, so I'm going to do it just because I think we didn't do it. We're going to pull the knee in and feel that stretch. And notice how the hip feels different now, because we did this stretch seated in the chair. But we can always feel a little bit more as you pull the knee in. You want to make sure you flex the foot to keep your knee alignment. You're pushing the heel away. Let's release that. Let it go. Now I'm going to give you a choice because you've been on your back for a while. So you can stay on your back for what I'm going to show you right now, or you can do seated. It is seated Gomukh Asana or cow face pose. So we cross our thighs or cross your ankles and hug your legs in. We also did this in the chair. Or cross your thighs. Now, if your thighs cross, you're pulling your knees towards each other. Well, you're pulling your knees towards each other anyway. We're pulling these towards each other. Then you can take your hands to your shins or you're underneath your calves and gently pull your knees in towards you. That is a hip opener. If you want more, not sure that you guys want any more, you can take your hand to your bottom of your feet and push your feet into your hand as you pull your knees towards you. Breathe in and breathe out, pulling knees towards you. Feel the sensation. The sensation is going to be in that hip, but a little bit different than number 4. Hold that for about 30 seconds and then switch sides. I'm going to show the seated version in case anybody wants to lift up, because you've been down on your back for a bit and you might say you want to do that. So if you do, I would recommend sitting on 1 or 2 blankets. And then this is the way the pose looks. So we're either going to cross here, or we're going to cross thighs, or this is actually a nice variation, knee over thigh. We sit tall and then we lean forward. So this is a really nice, it's a lengthener for the back of the leg and a hip opener. It's going to depend whether you want to lie on your back or you want to be seated, but they both get it about the same stretch, although this one I'm feeling a little bit more behind the bottom leg. So come out of it and do the other side. So knees moving towards other knee, hugging legs towards each other, leaning a little bit forward, hinging from the hip. Spine is long. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Notice how you're feeling. I'm noticing a little shaking, and you might notice that too. Holding for about 30 seconds as we breathe. And then release, shake it out. Let it go. Let it go. Shake out your legs. And so if you're seated, then you can take one leg out to the side and one knee bent. I'll show you the lying down version in case you're lying down and don't want to get up. So this is another forward fold where we're getting at the back of the thigh. We lift tall, we lean forward. We lean forward. On the back, it's going to look like this. One knee's bent in, one leg is out to the side. You also, if you have a wall, this is super nice to do at the wall. But notice how I'm supporting my long leg and pulling the bent knee in towards me. And then this is how it looks at the wall, just so you get a good view of it. But you can be doing the seated, the lying down, or the wall one. I love walls, they're awesome. If you did it to one side, then you are gonna do it to the other side. So make sure we treat our body evenly, both sides. So bending now the left knee, right leg out to the side, or whatever you did first. Whatever you did first. And then our last magic trick for the hips, it truly is a magic trick, is we're going to come on up, and in seated, you're going to sit butterfly. Now, if you feel like you just want to stay on your back, you can do lying down butterfly. Seated, we start in our butterfly with our feet towards each other, hands on the shins, and feel that for a breath or two or three. And then you're going to take a block or a ball and place it in between your feet and press your feet into the block. The knees are coming out to the side. There should be no pain. And then if you're not feeling it here, you can lean a little bit forward. You can also adjust this by taking your feet out a little bit. So making more of a diamond shape. And if you're thinking, oh, this is no big deal, then you can turn the block on the side like this and get a bigger stretch. That doesn't mean bigger is not always better, by the way, right? So it is about you and where your hips are at. If you want more sensation, you feel that this was really pretty accessible to you, then you can turn the block. If not, then bring it on in. And we'll stay here for about 30 seconds. So whatever version of butterfly you are in. And then we'll come on out of that and bring your butterfly back together, and you will notice that your knees are down a little lower. That's why I call it magic. That's why we call it magic. And then we're going to come down onto our back for our final resting pose. So you could do lying down butterfly for your pose if you haven't done it yet. And if not, I would check it out. Now, you can do different variations. If you feel like your shoulders need a little bit more opening, you can roll a blanket and place it behind your spine and then lie on down, something like that. And then you'd have a block under each knee to support it as you're lying down. You'd stay in that for about a minute or so, and then you'd release into traditional Shavasana. You could keep the roll underneath you for traditional Shavasana. And there's different ways to fold. This is how we make a little pillow. It's the longer way. So we fold it in thirds. Then we make our little pillow. And then we put our head on the pillow and our lower spine is about here. And you can come on down, and that helps to open up the shoulders, and you can release the legs out to the side or put a blanket under your knees or a bolster under your knees. So you want to support your body as you relax in your final resting pose. It's so important to set yourself up. It feels really nice to have a little something under the shoulders and the spine so that the shoulders and the front of the body can open, because when we're cold, like on a day like today in Michigan with a snowstorm coming, our body tends to curl into a ball. So this is a way to help it to open up. Belly soft, soft belly breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. We return to soft, subtle belly breathing. You might want to feel your belly with your hands on your belly. Feel the wave of the breath. As you refresh and renew in this final Shavasana resting pose. Relaxing the head and the jaw, the eyes, and the forehead. Relaxing shoulders, the arms, and the hands, and fingers. Letting the hips feel heavy. And feeling what the curves in your spine are touching. Relaxed abdominal, digestive, reproductive organs. Legs relaxing. Feet and toes relaxing. Whole body letting go. So stay as long as you wish in your final resting pose. Or you can rise to seated as we close. I highly recommend, this is going to be at least a day or so of being inside. Arms resting on the thighs or the knees. We bring our palms together as we close in gratitude. In gratitude for this mind, this body, this spirit, all the blessings that brought us here to this moment. We say namaste. Have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend. If you want to make that golden milk, which could be really nice and comforting, and you can Google golden milk. It's with turmeric. Oh, I forgot to say that the traditional Ayurveds put in a little ghee in there. I like the maple syrup, cacao, vanilla, and what did I say? Cacao, sometimes a little nutmeg and cinnamon. So you can play around with what spices you like. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and weekend. Keep safe and warm.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So good to see you guys.
You too.
I
Warm
hope
and
your
well.
hips feel more open.
Okay.
More open.
Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Nora.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Oh,
Happy Friday.